The roads are changing. The rules of the game are shifting. And in 2025, the electric car market is going to be one of the most competitive battlegrounds we've ever seen. Some manufacturers will rise. Others will fade into the background. And buyers will face more choice than ever before. And right in the middle of this storm, Kia has dropped something new. It isn't an SUV. It isn't a crossover trying to please everyone. This is the Kia EV4, a car that dares to go straight for the heart of the hatchback market, the segment once dominated by the Volkswagen Golf and now challenged by the likes of the Tesla Model 3, the Cupra Born, and the Renault Megane E-Tech. So here's the question. Is the Kia EV4 the car that finally proves Kia can go head-to-head with Europe's best in this most competitive class? Or is this the one that falls short of the high bar Kia has been setting with cars like the EV6 and EV9? Today, we're going to find out. The EV4 has already attracted plenty of attention before even turning a wheel. We've seen the walkarounds, we've picked apart the styling, and we know it sits on the same foundation as the Kia EV3. But until now, we haven't driven it. That changes today. Over the course of around 150 miles, we're going to test the EV4 in real-world conditions. Winding mountain roads, smooth motorways, and bustling towns. We'll see what it's like to live with, explore its practicality, measure its real-world efficiency, and find out whether this is another winning electric car from Kia. We'll also put it into context, how it compares to rivals, where it stands in Kia's lineup, and crucially, whether it makes sense for buyers who are looking for value, range, and comfort in one package. So let's get started. Driving. We begin on the south coast of Spain, starting the day with a fully charged Kia EV4 long-range GT line. That means it comes with the 78 kilowatt-hour usable battery, a 201 brake horsepower motor, and front-wheel drive. On paper, that translates to a 0 to 62 mile-per-hour sprint in around 7.5 seconds. Not blistering, but certainly quick enough for everyday use. Mountain roads. Our first leg takes us inland, climbing into the hills behind Ronda. This is where Kia has aimed to show off the EV4's more dynamic character compared to the slightly taller EV3. And right away, the difference is clear. Sitting 40 millimeters lower to the ground with a 20 millimeter lower center of gravity, the EV4 feels planted. Body roll is kept in check, and you can thread it through tight switchbacks with confidence. Compared to the EV3, which is tuned more for comfort, the EV4 is sharper. That said, it's not perfect. The steering is precise, but weighty, even in comfort mode. Switch into sport, and it becomes heavier still, bordering on artificial. It doesn't give you the feedback or engagement you'd expect from a true driver's hatchback, like the Cupra Born. Still, accuracy is excellent, and you'll never struggle to place the car where you want it. The brakes deserve praise. In many EVs, brake feel can be spongy, making it hard to judge deceleration. In the EV4, pedal response is consistent, progressive, and confidence-inspiring, ideal for mountain driving. Performance is brisk, but not thrilling. With only one motor option at launch, you're limited to around 201 bhp and front-wheel drive. The lighter, standard range is technically a fraction quicker due to its smaller 55 kilowatt-hour battery, but the difference is barely noticeable. Both versions sit in the 7.4 to 7.6 second window. For those wanting more, Kia is preparing an EV4 GT with dual motors and sub-4 second acceleration, but that's for later. Motorway driving. Dropping back down from the mountains, we merge onto the motorway heading towards Malaga. Here, the EV4 shows its other side. Despite being firmer than the EV3, the ride smooths out at speed. At 70 miles per hour, it feels composed, stable, and capable of covering long distances without fatigue. Noise levels, however, could be better. With 19-inch wheels on the GT line, you hear the constant thrum of tires on tarmac, plus some wind noise from the A-pillars. It's not unbearable, but rivals like the Renault Megane E-Tech manage a quieter cabin at similar speeds. The upside is range. Officially, the EV4 long-range hatchback claims up to 391 miles in entry-level trim, slightly less in GT line due to larger wheels. Even the smaller standard range manages 273 miles officially. On our real-world test in 27 to 30 degrees Celsius weather, efficiency averaged 3.5 miles per kilowatt-hour, including charging losses. That equates to a usable 300 miles in this long-range version. Very competitive. Charging. The one drawback is charging speed. Unlike the EV6 and EV9, which use an 800-volt system, the EV4 runs on 400-volt architecture. That limits the long range to a maximum of 135 kilowatts, and the standard range to 100 kilowatts. In practice, that means about 30 minutes for a 10 to 80% charge. Respectable, but behind faster rivals like the Tesla Model 3 or Hyundai Ioniq 6. Interior and practicality. Step inside and the EV4 feels familiar because it shares much with the EV3. Boot and storage. The hatchback offers a 435-liter boot. That's slightly smaller than the EV3's 460 liters, but bigger than a Cupra Born. The adjustable boot floor helps reduce the loading lip, and when the 60/40 rear seats fold flat, the space becomes versatile, with only a slight ramp rather than a step. The salon-style EV4 fastback technically has a larger 490-liter capacity, but its narrow opening makes it less practical for bulky items. For family use, the hatchback is the more flexible choice. Rear passenger space. This is where the EV4 shines. Thanks to a 140mm longer wheelbase than the EV3, rear legroom is excellent. Even with a 6-foot driver up front, there's limo-like space in the back. The flat floor makes 3 abreast seating realistic, and headroom is decent, though the fastback swooping roofline compromises it slightly. Driving position and front cabin. The driver's seat sits lower than in the EV3, giving a more car-like feel. GT line and above get full electric adjustment with lumbar support. Entry-level Air trim lacks adjustable lumbar, so long-distance drivers may want to avoid it. The dashboard layout mirrors the EV3. A 12.3-inch main infotainment screen sits alongside a digital driver display. The system is quick, responsive, and includes standard Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Physical buttons for temperature and fan speed are welcome, though oddly, the dedicated air conditioning screen is partly blocked by the steering wheel, an ergonomic misstep. Storage is generous, with a large central cubby, trays, cup holders, and a wireless charging pad. GT line trims swap the central storage for a sliding laptop tray. Some may find that useful, but others will prefer the extra space. Door bins can fit multiple 500-milliliter bottles, adding to practicality. Materials and build. Quality is solid, if not luxurious. It doesn't reach premium rivals like the Polestar 2, but it matches the Cupra Born and Renault Megane E-Tech. Kia has built a reputation for durability, and the EV4 continues that tradition. So where does the EV4 stand? In short, the EV4 is an excellent addition to Kia's lineup. For those who prefer a conventional hatchback look over SUV styling, it offers space, range, and comfort in abundance. The entry-level standard range, priced around £34,700, may actually be the sweet spot. Enough range for most, strong value, and fewer compromises. But for those who need rapid charging and ultimate long-distance ability, rivals like the Tesla Model 3 still hold an advantage. So, is the Kia EV4 the electric hatchback you've been waiting for? Or would you still choose something like the Tesla Model 3, Cupra Born, or Renault Megane E-Tech? Let us know in the comments. We always love hearing your thoughts. And if you want to keep up with every major EV launch coming in 2025 and beyond, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We've got in-depth reviews, range tests, and head-to-head comparisons coming your way, and you won't want to miss them.